Well, it's that time of year again. We are basically at the conclusion of the season, aren't we? This is the Champions League final between PSG, who won it last year, and Seek, to defend their title after first time winning it. And they'll be playing against Arsenal, who have not been in the final in 2 decades and who have never won the Champions League. All meet at Budapest in Hungary. It is the champions of France against the newly crowned champions of England. One of the best attacks in the world against one of the best defenses in the world. Yeah. So, in terms of going into the final, I'm already seeing something of the match insight. PSG, 18 goals in their 6 Champions League knockout matches. Arsenal conceded just 2, which kind of just backs the previous statement, doesn't it? Best defence against best attack. And looking at their recent form, Arsenal have been on fire. They have recently just confirmed that they have won the Premier League title, and that's now finished, winning their last 5 games. Well, looking at their last 5 games, PSG, a bit more of a shaky kind of run after draws against Lorient, Bayern Munich as well in the second leg, but they did ultimately wrap that to be here, and then a defeat to Paris FC, their city rivals, 2-1. They did, however, come to win Liga A as per usual. And also as well, these two teams met each other in the Champions League last season as well. PSG winning twice in the semi-finals, home and away, and eventually gone on to win the Champions League, of course, in Munich. As for Arsenal, they've managed, they haven't been in the Champions League final in 20 years, and they've just won their first Premier League title in 22 years. They have relied a lot on set pieces, and having the most set piece goals in the Premier League. And there has been a set piece revolution in the Premier League this season, and Arsenal have basically been at the spearhead of that revolution. I'm looking at their runs in the Champions League. Well, first of all, Paris Saint-Germain finished 11th in the league phase of the Champions League. Arsenal winning 8 games from 8, finishing top of the table. PSG having to go through the playoff rounds where they defeated Monaco. No, from France. Well, technically they're from Monaco, but play in France. But in terms of looking at their individual games in the Champions League, also for Paris Saint-Germain, it all started with a 4-0 win over Atalanta. They then defeated Barcelona 2-1, defeated Leverkusen 7-2, lost to Bayern Munich, who they'd later play again 2-1, defeat Europa League holders Tottenham 5-3, Athletic Bilbao, they drew with them 0-0, lost to Sporting 2-1, and then drew with Newcastle 1-1 on the final day, ultimately wrapping up in an 11th place finish, meaning that they had to go through the playoffs against Monaco, where they win 3-2 in the first leg, draw 2-2 in the second leg, so that means they progress 5-4 on aggregate. In the round of 16, they played against Chelsea and obliterated them, 3 goals each way, 5-2 at home, 3-0 away, seeing them through 8-2 on aggregate. Then they played against Liverpool, who they won 2-0 against them at the Parc des Princes and at Anfield, 4-0 win on aggregate overall. In the semi-finals, a 9-goal thriller against Bayern Munich, in which they came out on top 5-4. Then they drew at Munich 1-1, but ultimately, because of that 1-goal advantage, they are now here at the Puskás Arena in Budapest, Hungary. As for Arsenal, well, they won 8 of 8 Champions League phase games, top of the table. Well, 2-0 win against Athletic Bilbao, 2-0 win against Olympiacos, 4-0 win against Atletico Madrid, 3-0 win over Sparta Prague, 3-1 win over Bayern, 3-0 win over Club Brugge, 3-1 win over Inter, and 3-2 win over Kairat Almaty. In the round of 16, where they'd automatically go through, first of all, it was a draw against Bayer Leverkusen 1-1, but then they go and win 2-1 to go into quarterfinals, where conceding as minimal as possible, 1-0 win over Sporting in the first leg of the Champions League, and then a 0-0 draw in the second leg, putting them through 1-0 in aggregate. Then they played out a 1-1 draw against Atletico in the first leg of that game in the semi-final, and then a 1-0 win over Atletico to then put them in the final as well. Arsenal basically just going all-out defence in some of their games. Basically, they just held out against Sporting. Atletico and Arsenal was a very cagey affair. Yeah, I mean, in the first leg, both goals that were scored were from the penalty spot, no open play goals. And that one goal that Arsenal scored, it came off a rebound. But the first shot before it was saved by the keeper, you had like 4 Atletico players guarding the way, and then you get to the goalkeeper. It was really like it was a game that where defense was highly prioritized, and PSG also have done well this season. They've seen goals from Barcola, Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner there, Kvaratskhelia as well has done well. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Barcola, and a very frightful front three to play against. I mean, in Liga A, having 18 and 11, 29 goals between them in Liga A. And as for Arsenal, again, an incredible defence is what they have. Playing against, of course, PSG have Doué as well. This was basically just from their last starting 11, which they didn't really need full priority in, I'd imagine, because, I mean, they had the league title wrapped up, PSG. Desiree Doué has apparently been good as well. If we just have a look at his stats real quick, then we'll go on to Arsenal. But yeah, 23 games, 7 goals, 4 assists. Yeah, he's done really well. 95 percentile in goals and shot attempts as well. Touches, he's had a lot of. And just looking at his. I'm just looking at his stats here. Quite a bit of green on the board. So he's doing well in relation to others. His non-penalty XG is high. XG is high as well. He's pulled off 55 shots. He's got 19 of them on target. 7 resulted in goals. PSG, their front three can be tricky at times to play against. As for Arsenal, for them, it's all about the defence, isn't it? The centre-back duo in Saliba and Gabriel. It's like playing against a brick wall, and it has been shown as well when they played in the Champions League knockout games, only conceding 2 goals along the way. Yeah, in terms of defensive contributions, Gabriel 277, putting him in the 80 centile, and 38 tackles as well is quite high. He's blocked 34 shots. Saliba has also had a fair showing as well. By the way, Gabriel has been a very vital part in set piece goals. Of course, from corners. I mean, he's only got 3 goals the entire season, but I mean, aerially, he's with a flick on or scoring himself. He's been an aerial threat for Arsenal, and their defence is what's basically managed to get them to the top of the Premier League, of course, and ultimately exploiting the opportunities they get from set pieces. Ultimately, though, I think PSG are going to do it. It's going to be quite a close affair. I'm hoping it's going to be the best Champions League final we've seen in 8 years, because I've mentioned this last year. The last time both 2 teams scored in the Champions League final was all the way back in 2018 when Real Madrid won 3-1 over Liverpool. And since then, VAR has been introduced, which, I just mentioned that. Yeah, I think PSG are going to edge this one. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for Paris Saint-Germain. I think they will retain the European title again, but by no means it's going to be easy. They've got the best defence in the world to play against. But I think because of their insane attacking force, I think they can do it. So yeah, my final score prediction, PSG 2, Arsenal 1. Put your scores in the comments if you like, or don't, it's up to you. And I'll go now. Bye.